Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video where we are going to be doing some pumpkin crafts. I have this wooden pumpkin and also these little ceramic pumpkins from the brand Mondo Llama. I'm not really sure why it's called that, but it's fun. It has all of these little supplies in it that I didn't even know it had, so let's see what we can do. First, let's open up the box to see what little goodies we have inside to work with. So I just opened up the package and now I'm finding all these things, instructions, we don't need those. So let's move on to see what's all here. First, we have these 6 paint colors that look very fun but also very little, so I hope I have enough. Here is this little paintbrush that's a little cute and orange, it even has the brand. Some little craft supplies and also, obviously, the ceramic pumpkins. I'm very excited about these. I don't really have a full plan yet, but it will develop as we go. But for now, I am going to start working on the wooden pumpkin. We've got all our supplies, so let's get started. I brought in my own paints for this one since, this isn't part of the craft kit. And I'm using this very chunky orange color, but don't worry about it. We're going to fix it all later. But for now, I'm just keeping it classic. I have a lot of Halloween decor, but I don't have a lot of fall decor that's not spooky. So I'm trying to make some November decor that's perfect for Thanksgiving, fall, autumn, all those kind of vibes. So that's what we're working with here. I decided to add in some white to add some dimension to the pumpkin. I want it to actually look 3D and not just like an orange circle blob. So I'm trying to add in some shapes to it and actually bring it to life. And now I'm going to work on the top of the pumpkin. I want this to look like a pumpkin is sitting on top of the big pumpkin, so I kind of overlapped it. And I'm making the stem orange to fit in with my color scheme. I really wanted to try and use only white and orange at first. That's the vibe I was going for. I wanted to keep it very simple but also very fun. And I'm trying to do this little floral pattern on the top of the pumpkin, and I want it to look kind of ombre, like I want it to be white to orange gradient. And so I was really kind of struggling with this, but I tried and I ended up filling the whole thing with it, and it kind of just looked like it had a whole bunch of different colored blobs on top, but that's okay because I go in and add more details to make it look more floral later. But for now, I'm going in and adding some ridges and detail on the bottom to make it match, and then I want to add even more white to the bottom to add even more dimension and to make it match the top a little bit more. That way they go side by side, they're little partners that way. And then I felt like the pumpkin still didn't have enough dimension, so I decided to add in some red, and this is when the design really started coming to life. I just adapted and decided to add in some more colors to make it read more pumpkin and be a little bit more fun. That way too, I had another color to introduce to the top of the pumpkin, which really saved the day. I added a shadow to make it look like the top pumpkin was really sitting on the bottom pumpkin. And now I'm going in and fixing the top design by adding in that same red color and trying to add a little more detail, but at this point it's still reading blob big time, so I'm just gonna keep messing with it until I get it the way I want it to be. I have a very important question for you as I'm fixing this up. My question to you is, when do you start celebrating Christmas and winter and moving on past autumn? Because to me, November is still autumn, you've got Thanksgiving and that just reads fall to me, but I feel like it hit November 1st and then the world exploded with Christmas, and I'm not sure if I'm ready, but I'm curious if you're ready because it's making me excited, and now I want it to be Christmas, but I also don't want to fast forward through the rest of the year. So I'm curious to hear what you think about that and when you start doing Christmas activities. But anyway, now I'm adding even more detail to the top, and I decided to risk it all and try and add some highlights like the bottom one has, and I think it was worth it and paid off. But here is the final look with the floral designs. I had to paint the sides also, and there were some thick sides to this. I decided to go with the color red, which actually was a really good idea. I fixed up everything on the front, and now this one is complete. I love how it looks, and I'm very excited to see what I can do with the rest of the pumpkins. Here they are, we're bringing them in, and I decided to try and use the paints that came with the craft kit on these guys. So I'm starting off with the blue, and I was a little worried about how these would be. You know how sometimes craft Craft Kits paints are not what they should be. So I went in with the blue one first, and it actually surprised me. It covered pretty well, but I definitely think it's going to need another layer. But for now, I'm starting off with the top layer, and I wanted to do this one multicolored. So I made one side blue, and I'm making the other side of this pumpkin purple just for fun, and because I have a few tricks up my sleeve for later, which I plan to use. So I'm very excited for you guys to see this one, but for now, here it is, and I'm going to move on to the next one. I decided that for this one, I was going to stick to the orange color since that is really the classic pumpkin color. And for this paint, I was really surprised. The orange worked really well compared to the other two. The darker colors definitely worked better, but I gave everything a second coat just to make it all even. The blue was definitely the weakest, but even it was still impressive. After I finished painting all of the pumpkin sides, then I moved on to the stem, and I decided to do a traditional brown stem for these, so I just filled them all in, and then I was completed with the base layer for the pumpkins. I think they're looking super cute, but now it's time to go back to this one because I have a plan for the opposite side. So we kind of talked about Christmas a little bit already, but it got me thinking that these things should be multi-seasonal decorations. So I want one side of this one to be fall and the other side to be December, Christmas time. So I decided to try and transform this little pumpkin wooden thing into a snowman on the opposite side. So that's what I'm doing here, which I'm very excited about. And I decided to add in some shading to make it look like a snowman was stacked, like the head and then the body. I painted the little stem black to remind myself that I have an idea for it. Now it's time to add the face, but I had to practice off to the side first. I really didn't want to mess up on the actual thing. So then I went in and added the face, and it's looking so cute. I cannot wait for this one to be completed. I decided to add classic snowman buttons as well because that's very important. I tried to add in a nose and it didn't read how I wanted it to, so I thought it would be fun to try and use those craft supplies that we got from the ceramic pumpkins, and it made the perfect little sparkle nose. And then I had to mess with those little foam pieces even more, so I added a little spooky face to this pumpkin, and he was looking pretty derpy, so I tried to rearrange his little smile a little bit to make him less silly. And then I added googly eyes to the purple side of this pumpkin because googly eyes are just so fun. I mean, just look at them, they're just fun. And then I went back to the snowman. I decided that he needed a little scarf, and I made it red to kind of match the side of the design. And then I decided to add in little snowflakes onto the scarf just to add in some special details to really make it read winter, Christmas, holiday season. And this was the perfect touch. I seriously love how this design turned out, but he would not be complete without a little hat, so I grabbed some black construction paper and cut him out a little hat. So here is the first design. Again, if you look here, it's pretty basic, pretty plain. It just reads fall, but it is so cute, super neutral. But when you turn it around, now we have seasonal decor. We've got little Halloween pumpkins and a cute little snowman, perfect for Christmas. I am very excited about these designs, and I'd love to hear what you think about these guys because it was so much fun to create them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!